Weekly update for Friday, July 29th. Okay, and back again with Jason's letter. And I'm going to interrupt again on the Matthew 27:51 quote, "And look, the curtain of the sanctuary was torn in two from top to bottom, and the earth quaked, and the rocks were split," unquote. And the interlinear has it as, "And look, the curtain of the divine habitation was split from above till below into two, and the earth was shaken, and the rock masses were split." Okay, see, I'll give you that one. That's Matthew 27:51, your translation, and the Kingdom Interlinear dovetail pretty effectively. But I'm not seeing that with Paul's epistles, so we'll leave that again. I know Billy Beach was a great example of a Jehovah's Witness when you corresponded with and visited him years ago. I am sure that we would have areas of disagreement, but I also suspect we would both prefer communicating with those who do believe and know God as opposed to those who don't. Yeah, I mean, I stayed with Billy and his wife and kids for about a week in Italy, and we got along fine, read scripture together, discussed a lot of things. I went to one of the Jehovah's Witnesses meetings, and yeah, we're all monotheists. We're a number of different kinds of monotheists, but we're all monotheists. You put me on this path, Dave, and I thank you for that. The last two books of Cerebus, your writings generally, and working with you on the Ye Books exhibition, all laid the foundation for where I am now. Well, I'll take that as a gold star in my notebook, but it's always the individual who makes the choice, who has done the heavy lifting on that. It was also in Nashville that I parted ways with my individual issues of Cerebus. Sorry. Okay. I had sold most of my remaining comic book and graphic novel collection on eBay in Oberlin after getting canned. I also sold my entire Doctor Who DVD collection on eBay at the time. And let me tell you, it sold much, much faster and for a much higher markup. I don't know how interested you are in this kind of granular detail, but as far as reselling your work goes, Glamourpuss was snatched up. The Great Escape in Nashville passed on buying the Cerebus issues, but bought all the Glamourpuss ones. Well, except for number 5, which I remembered you stating years ago was underrepresented in the Cerebus archive, so I include that here. Hope it fills in some gaps, and it certainly does. I want to thank Jason and everybody else who has sent in a Glamourpuss number 5 for the Cerebus archive. A brand new half-price books opened up right before we moved, and they bought all the individual issues. I did keep a few back for myself, mainly the Spirits of Independence related issues. I hope some unsuspecting comics fan picks them up and has their mind blown. Yeah, that'd be good. Everybody gets a turn that way. Let me back up a bit and mention a few things relating to my occasional forays back into the world of comics. For the 20th anniversary of Chronic Apathy, I forgot that you did Chronic Apathy. 2015, I went on, quote, tour, unquote, and exhibited the old thing again at a few Ohio conventions. Things haven't really changed, and I didn't make much money, but was happier when I did. Through this experience, several things happened. I arranged a panel at Space 2015 to mark the 20th anniversary of the Spirits of Independence tour. Thank you for doing that. Bob Corby helped me put together a panel which included me, Bob, Michael Nino, Max Inc., Steve Peters, and Steve Snyder from the old Capital City Comics. There were about 30 people in attendance. I moderated and centered the discussion on why people felt Columbus was/is a hotbed of indie comics, and got some great anecdotes from all the artists. Snyder had great thoughts as well on how he tried to cultivate a more, quote, customer-centered, unquote, approach than your typical comic book store. And he did that in spades. And they succeeded wildly, as you know. We also talked about tabling at the Columbus Spirit Stop, and how helpful you were, Dave, to all of us at that table and in attendance. This was universal. Nothing that happened could have happened without your underlined support. Well, again, it's if it was just me, it would have just been one guy in the middle of a meeting room in a Columbus, Ohio hotel. You guys did the heavy lifting as well. It was interesting to note, both when I was preparing for the panel and documenting the anniversary of the tour on my Cerebus-themed Tumblr blog, cerebusthetumblr.com, and when a question came from an audience member that the infamous issue 186 is also the issue in which the Spirits announcement was published. Dave Sim's other controversial idea. Yeah, it's The Strangers in Paradise. Cerebus preview was in that issue, and I'll probably never live that down with Terry. And one which I think has borne fruit. The do-it-yourself ethos resonates as much, perhaps more now than in mid-1990s, and brings in a more diverse group of creators. I'm sure the wide range in quality is the same, but I appreciate any kind of artistic efforts, especially in the short attention span times in which we live. Okay, the next part's interesting, but I think we want to take this a bit at a time. So, thank you, Jason, for the Clamorplus number 5. We'll be back with, are we at the point of going the rest of your letter? We might be. We might be. We'll see. I hope we'll see a bunch of you back again next week for much more Jason Trimmer.